Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a pretty ridiculous video for you here today of a woman who refuses a coffee date from a man, but then she gets mad, she gets furious about it when he goes with somebody else instead. I mean, this is the story of a lot of modern women, guys. You know, they get frustrated when the men that they reject just move on from them and don't give them anything. Now, this woman is also a complete nut job because, like many modern women, she expects to be taken out for dinner, you know, wined and dined. She doesn't want coffee dates, guys. She wants to be taken seriously. Never mind the fact that she is here screaming on TikTok. Can't wait to date that. So I think a lot of guys are done with this nonsense, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And let's just jump right into the video. Don't say that I didn't warn you guys. This woman is absolutely bonkers.
On that coffee date. Do not go on that boba date. Do not go meet that man for drinks. This man saw you, and his first initial thought wasn't, wow, I'd really love to get to know her over some dinner and a nice ambiance. He looked at you and said, Dunkin'? Starbucks? The amount of messages that I get from men that ask me if I like coffee. No, bitch, I don't like coffee. I actually hate it.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see how a woman faces a reality check as she approaches the wall and has to come to terms with going on coffee dates. We'll also look at women who don't talk about the privilege of being attractive and discuss the taxi theory. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 150,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Share your experiences and advice in the comments. That's what helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Let's get started.
I would hate for him to walk out and leave, and then there's my misconnection that could be my husband. So I recently gave up on dating completely because I feel like there's literally nothing for me out there. And I guess Match Group got wind of this because they actually invited me to participate in their connection experience. So I'm going to have a series where you guys will follow me throughout the months. I'm going to try to do in real life dating. I'm also going to do connections on the app. I put the series in the highlights so you guys can follow along.
Yeah, let me just say this. This hurts my brain, guys. The fact that women are creating, you know, video series out of their inability to lock down a man is absolutely hilarious to me. I find it incredibly cringe. Part of me finds it incredibly sad, but I've always had this position where if a woman has to be on all of these different dating applications and try to meet dudes in real life and do this and do that, I mean, there's a reason why men don't want relationships with you. There's a reason why dudes are not taking you out to dinner dates anymore. There's a reason why men do the things that they do. Women have a ridiculous amount of power in dating. So if they are in this position where they are struggling and they're making, you know, a video series about it, they're already completely broken, guys. Completely broken. Undateable, unwifeable. You can't make them into a mother. They're completely nuts. Completely lost by this point. Absolutely crazy. Let's wind it back and let's continue.
I have a series where you guys will follow me throughout the months. I'm going to try to do in real life dating. I'm also going to do connections on the app. I put the series in the highlights so you guys can follow along. I really want to get through my story because there's a guy that I saw at this coffee shop. So I have been going to coffee shops trying to make a connection, and it's so funny because this is me. Do y'all remember this viral video where I said, do not go on coffee dates? And here I am. I'm going to coffee shops trying to find... We love a full circle moment. But anyways, there's this guy, gorgeous, light brown tousled hair, chiseled jawline, polished, looks like he smells delicious, didn't see a ring on his finger. So of course I asked the barista, come here often? Because I've never seen him. And she's like, no, we haven't seen him before. Like, I have to talk to him. I'm not the type of girl to go up to guys. So I'm like...
Yes, she is. Guys, women will go up to the men that they find highly attractive. They will try and make things happen. Okay. But this is hilarious. So at the start of the video, this woman said, I don't like coffee dates. You need to take me out to dinner. But here she is hunting for chads in coffee locations, right? Coffee shops. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So again, guys, women change their standards all of the time, and their standards are always dependent on how attractive you are. That's really what it comes down to. If you're a man who's highly attractive, you do not have to buy her dinner. You do not have to take her out on dates. You don't have to do any of these things. I mean, guys, I did a video recently. I think some woman like flew from one city to another, and the dude just straight up ghosted her, right? She's never met the man before, and because he's attractive enough, she'll rock up at his house and quite literally take a plane to get there. But you have these women who jump online and they're like, real men take us out to dinner dates. The real men are sick of you, to be honest with you. The real dudes, you know what they're doing instead of dating you? They're fishing. They're like painting miniatures, okay? I don't know. They're doing their hobbies. They're doing other things they're interested in because they have realized that you are a complete waste of time. And it doesn't matter how attractive the woman is, by the way. A lot of these women are just completely undateable. Men know this. This is why the women get used for fun, by the way. This is also why a lot of the guys who have opted out of dating, you know, men will either completely opt out or they'll just become players. And to be honest, women create this nonsense through videos like these, by the way. That first video, just before we continue, that first video where she was saying no to coffee dates, men have to take you out on dinner, I think that had 2.2 million likes on it, if I saw that correctly. Like, guys, this is mainstream for women. You've got to understand them seeing these videos.
What do I even say to this guy? So it's do or die. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to shoot myself.
Oh no.
We often hear that men are the hunters, but that's false. It's actually women. A woman will give access to the man she's most interested in and will make everything easy for intimacy. That's why I always say, if a woman doesn't see you as the best option she can get, walk away, because she's not into you.
And just by the way, I think a lot of dudes get this confused, right? They think that, oh, because a woman smiles at them or because she's friendly and things like this, then that means she's interested. But really, I would say that is not enough. A lot of girls just like free attention. They like using men for the free attention, the free validation, the free resources. They like to have those extra shoulders to cry on. And oftentimes they're not interested in you at all. If they're actually interested, they will genuinely make things happen. They will make it so damn easy for you, it's not even funny, right?
Look how quickly she changed her opinion about coffee dates when she realized her pool of candidates was drying up. Now she's shifting her approach because she met a man she likes at a coffee shop. How ironic, isn't it?
Quick update on yesterday's coffee shop experience. I suggest that you guys watch part 1 of this series where I will be trying my hand at dating in real life, and then I'm going to try my hand at the Tinder app and see how that goes. So update on yesterday's experience. I did go back into the coffee shop and strike up a conversation with him. It went very well. I tapped him on the shoulder and I was like, hi, I introduced myself. My name is Veronica. We had a brief conversation. He's very well spoken, very charming. You know the guys that are charming without really having to try?
Yeah, so what she's talking about is just, again, men who are attractive, okay? If you're a highly attractive man, I mean, yes, you can screw it up if you're completely socially inept, but it's going to be a lot harder, okay? Women will always make excuses for the men who are attractive. You know, like the dude, for example, who doesn't talk a lot, who's very quiet and things like this, all of a sudden he becomes the strong and silent type. You know, he's got that different type of charisma. Again, women will just assume you have charisma half the damn time if you're attractive enough. They will just rationalize it away. This is the difference, again, between, for example, a man who's unattractive and who likes playing, I don't know, like Warhammer or something, and a dude who's attractive, right? There's a difference. She will make the nerdy guy. She'll say, oh, I like nerdy guys. But what she really means is she likes the attractive nerdy ones. It's completely different. I think a lot of dudes are kind of confused by this, right? Because they think, oh, I just need to be confident, you know? I just need to talk in the right way. Let's be honest. These women are not looking at how you talk, really. Like, genuinely, guys, they are not looking at how you talk. They're not looking at your morals and things like this. Can you screw it up and be a complete idiot and say nonsense or be unable to hold a conversation? Yes. But I think this whole thing of like, just be confident, man, is completely overblown. Completely.
That was him. Witty, funny, just all the vibes were there. But unfortunately for me, he is not available. He told me that he's in a relationship. They've been together for about 1.5 years now. They're doing the long distance thing. I didn't get his number because, first of all, he's in a relationship at the end of the day. So in conclusion, I don't think in real life is for me. I'm putting myself in such a vulnerable state.
Wait. So this woman, let me get this straight. She approached one Giga Chad and then she gave up because he wasn't available. And she said approaching dudes in real life isn't for her. That is, I'm telling you guys, if you put women in men's realities, they will never make it. You talked to one dude who was, let's be honest, way out of your damn league. I don't care. The problem is these women, they put so much makeup on their face, right? And so they think they're a 10. They think they're so attractive. But a lot of these guys are not looking at how you look, really. Like, yeah, a little bit, but they're also, if they're considering you for a girlfriend or a wife or something like this, or having a relationship, I mean, dudes will suffer points of attractiveness to see what kind of person you are. And if you're a screaming woman on TikTok, they don't want you, okay? But these women will never cut it as a dude. One approach and she quits and she's out. Imagine those dudes who like have to talk to 50 women and are encouraged, oh, don't worry, man, just get your confidence up. You know, it's not that bad. Just go out there and talk to women. And I'll be honest, the dudes are going to be way nicer to you than the women are. Especially if you're not super attractive. You walk up to a woman and you're not super attractive and you try and strike up a conversation, I mean, they'll just ignore you. They'll like, you know, make public humiliation examples of you and things like this. Don't believe me, guys. If you're not the most attractive man, feel free to go and try that for yourself, okay? But it's so funny. This woman gives up after one approach. She's like, you know, I don't want to risk rejection. Approaching isn't for me. Real life meeting men isn't for me. That's so funny. She just it's just so funny to me, guys.
It takes a lot of courage for someone to go up to somebody, especially as a girl, and then being let down on top of it. Even though he was really sweet about it, it's just uncomfortable, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna head over to the Tinder app and see how that goes for me. Hopefully I have better luck. So we'll see.
If more women took the initiative like this woman, I can assure you that fewer would be single, because this approach works 3 out of 5 times when a woman makes the first move.
You know, I've actually been thinking about a lot of this, by the way, women making the first move. And I used to think it was a good idea, but I'm actually less of a fan. I've kind of changed my mind on this particular thing. I feel like a bit of a dumbass with this, guys, but I think the problem is a lot of the times if women are approaching you, they're often very masculine people, you know, and I don't know about you, but I don't want to date masculine women. The feminine women who are pleasant to be around and who are perhaps a bit shy, they don't want to do this stuff. It's always like the loud, masculine women on TikTok that have been through like 1,000 different dudes. They're the ones that'll approach dudes, right? I think it's you know, these girls who have a bit too much confidence, shall I say, if I can say it politely like that. But here's the problem that women have run into, okay, is that men are more likely than ever not to approach women because women have made it not worth it at all. That's the problem. So women want dudes to approach them. And to be honest, it would probably work better if the men did, but it's not worth it for men these days. And so we're at a crossroads here because, like, why would men approach you when, let's be honest, a lot of modern women are incredibly entitled. They'll treat you like trash. They will humiliate you. You'll get rejected publicly. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? Why should men approach you? But yeah, the women who often approach these dudes are complete red flags because by the time a woman is approaching dudes, number one, she has to be quite assertive and masculine in order to do it. But number two, if she was actually viable relationship material, she wouldn't even need to approach dudes. That's the thing, guys. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. She wouldn't even need to approach men in the first place.
For others, genuine interest is non-negotiable. The greater a woman's interest in you, the bigger the discount she'll offer. Here, we see a woman who doesn't want to hit the wall and is using all her options to secure a man. Don't get me wrong, I don't see this as a bad thing. Women should bet on a man's potential and experience firsthand what men feel when they always have to take the first step.
One of the single best ways to find out if a man is actually a good person is to see how he treats women that he finds unattractive. There is no one kinder in this world than a man that finds you beautiful and wants to sleep with you. I know this is going to ruffle some feathers, but men who don't find you attractive often don't see you as a person. How do I know this, you may ask? Because you may be saying, oh my God, you're so beautiful and so funny and so amazing. I love your TikToks. And I'm going, thank you. But actually, in reality, I used to be 23 kilos heavier and I've had loads of plastic surgery and cosmetic shit done. Talk a lot about that.
I mean, good on this woman for losing 23 kilograms, by the way. I think she said 23 kilograms, not pounds. But it's always great to hear when people lose weight, man. I love that stuff. I love seeing people actually taking their health seriously. I do think that this video is a bit of projection here. I think that Chads will probably treat unattractive women, you know, they won't display much interest or anything like this, and so that probably pisses women off. But usually it's actually the women who treat average men like complete dog water, shall I say, right? The top percentage of men will probably look over the attractive women. Average men, I don't think, really do this. But again, women do this stuff. Women invented this. Like, they really did. Have you seen these days how average women treat average men? They treat them absolutely terribly. I don't think the average man treats the average woman the same way at all.
And men used to be really, really mean to me. I've had doors slammed in my face. I've been completely ignored. I've been laughed at. These are sometimes even boyfriends or situationships of my girlfriends.
Yes, the classic has friends who are in situationships. I guarantee you this woman is talking about her in situationships as well. Always a gigantic red flag, guys, when a woman's friends, quote unquote, have situationships.
That have just completely ignored me and wanted nothing to do with me because they didn't find me attractive. Fast forward to now, everyone's really nice to me. All the men are really nice to me. How strange, how weird. I've been on dates with guys before where they have been so kind, so nice to me, so loving. And then the waitress will come over. She may be a little older, she may be a little bit overweight, and they turn into a complete and utter asshole. There was one time where I actually went on holiday with this guy, and on the way back we went for dinner, and he started talking. He was a bit older than me. He started talking about women his own age and how they were disgusting, how they were old, how he wanted nothing to do with them, and how he loved me because I was young and blah blah blah.
I don't think the man would have worded it this meanly. Whenever women like recount these stories, they always kind of put words in dudes' mouths about how they explain these sorts of things. I don't think this dude said older women are disgusting and this sort of thing. She probably got the general understanding that he wasn't interested in dating women who were his age or older. And of course, she didn't like that, so we end up putting words in his mouth. That's usually what I think happens in these particular situations. I think that oftentimes if a woman doesn't like what you have to say, it is completely blown out of proportion, especially if they're posting about it on TikTok, by the way.
Never saw that man again. Never saw him again. Instantly, you know, when they start talking about a woman that they find unattractive, if they start belittling her, they do not respect women. They do not see that women as people, and they're someone you shouldn't fuck with. Now, my boyfriend, on the other hand, he is kind to everyone. He's obviously the kindest to me, because like, why wouldn't he be? Because I'm so funny and hot and amazing. But
I mean, this woman, there's so many red flags in this video, man. She literally said right there, if you didn't catch that, she is so funny, hot, and amazing, she said. Her friends are in a bunch of situationships. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Giant red flags in this video. My red flag indicator is going off.
He's kind to a Victoria's Secret model, and he's equally as kind to a little old babushka making pure money. This is what you have to look out for. If a man is rude to women that he does not find attractive, you're going to get old, girly. Unfortunately, we're all going to age. You can use all the creams, you can do all the injections, everything you want in the world, but you're going to get old. And that man, if that man starts disrespecting you and being rude to you because you've aged or he doesn't find you as attractive anymore, that's going to happen to you. The woman that he's talking about being like, oh, she's old, she's ugly, That's going to be you one day, honey. I'm really sorry to tell you. You can take care of yourself as much as you want, but that's going to be you. You need to find a man that actually respects you and loves you for you, as well as your beauty.
Oh, boo-hoo!
I mean, I think this is good advice, by the way, in general, right? If you're with somebody and they're just being rude to other people for no reason, obviously that's a red flag. I mean, it goes without saying. I think men do this considerably less than women, by the way. I think a lot of this is just complete projection and also a reflection of the type of men that she is chasing. But it's, it's in general, it's good advice, right? Like, if somebody you're with is being rude to people for no reason, makes sense. I mean, it absolutely makes sense.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Quite ironic coming from a woman who didn't love herself, having to go through medical treatments to be somewhat attractive. The privilege of beauty has always existed, but it works both ways. A man who's hit the genetic lottery, whether in relationships, social interactions, or even business, tends to go through life on easy mode. It's no coincidence that women often look for the 666 man of the apocalypse, 6 feet tall, earning 6 figures, with a six-pack abs. The 666 of the apocalypse. The irony here is that I'm sure the way she was treated when she wasn't attractive is the same way she'll treat an unattractive man who...
Oh, absolutely. Abso-damn-lutely, guys. This is how women treat men all of the damn time. Right? Wait until this woman realizes, I mean, she'll never realize, but how the average woman treats average men. Like, she has an issue with this. It's, again, guys, you give a woman like a fraction of the treatment that men experience and they have a huge problem with it. They think it's the most pervasive thing ever because they're specifically chasing the men who are attractive, by the way. They think it's absolutely everywhere. They think the world is so unfair. I mean, you have to multiply that by a lot to get the average dude's experience in life. And they will never understand that. They just think that they're some giant victim. I know dudes who are treated significantly worse, for example, and you'll just never hear them complain, by the way. Like, you will never see them make a TikTok video complaining about this, ever.
Who, in her eyes, is likely invisible. But of course, she won't admit that to you.
If you end up choosing a guy who treats women who he does not find attractive differently, you will regret it. Ladies, you gotta listen to your ugly fat friends, okay? That was me being glib to get your attention, but for real, there is something to this where the less conventionally attractive friends can sense when a guy is rancid. My cute little petite feminine friends get hit on at bars much more than me when we're in a group. I only really get hit on when I go out alone. And the number of times my friends can't tell when a guy is absolute trash is astonishing to me.
It's almost like they don't give a damn. Oh, really? What's funny, guys, is like the women don't care. This is the thing. Women do not care if the man is complete garbage. They don't care if the man's just going to use them for bedroom fun. I mean, why do you think the women are there? We just keep making excuses for women, don't we? They're in these situations because they are looking for short-term things. They will try and manipulate the dude into a long-term thing if they can. But at the end of the day, these women who are doing this, they're not looking at your morals. This woman is making this mistake. I think a lot of dudes make this mistake as well. You think the women actually give a damn if the man is bad quality or not. That's the thing. They quite honestly, they run towards the men who are a whole bunch of red flags.
The least conventionally attractive woman in the group knows when that guy's rancid because he will treat us differently. He might ignore us. He might make fun of us if he's really, truly disgusting. And if the pretty friend that always gets hits on needs that validation from men and doesn't do anything about it, doesn't tell him off, then yeah, that's a problem. And that woman, you should reconsider being her friend. You end up choosing a guy who treats women who he does not find attractive differently, you will regret it. You may be a mega babe right now. You may think that he worships the ground you walk on right now, but you cannot outrun time. You will age, and he may not like it. And then you're going to find out how he treats women he doesn't find attractive.
Instead of giving advice, I would learn to listen, because if someone calls themselves the fat ugly friend, it's clear they have very low self-esteem. For others, women are always in competition, even among friends. This type of woman is secretly jealous of her attractive friends for getting the attention from men that she wishes she had. She complains about attractive men not treating her like they treat her good-looking friends. but I'm sure she doesn't treat the average guys who approach her any better.
Of course not, right? This woman in this video, she said she oftentimes gets approached, but only when she's out by herself. I mean, again, even women who, in their own words, are not conventionally attractive. I mean, this woman used some harsher words, but if I describe her like that, I already know that YouTube will throw a hissy fit at me. But like, even this woman right here, in her own choice of words, gets approached by dudes. Okay, and they all seem to be single, guys. Isn't that funny? Isn't that absolutely funny? Again, you can give women a ridiculous amount of options, even the ones who are not particularly attractive, and they will just be unable to make it work. Completely clueless and unable to make it work. But don't worry, guys. They will give dating advice to other people, of course.
Simply because they don't look like the ones who approach her friends. Brothers, first impressions matter. It's no wonder men are told to take the red pill and start improving themselves, because women themselves confirm that when they see a man who's built, they all want him.
The taxi cab theory is from Sex and the City, and it's basically the idea that men see dating like taxi cabs, in that if a taxi has its light off, it's not looking to pick up any riders, and it doesn't matter how hard you try to flag it down, you're not going to get picked up. But when they decide they're ready to pick up a rider, they turn their light on and they pick up the first person that they see. Doesn't matter how long they've been waiting there, the first person that they see. So basically, with men...
What? I mean, yeah, dudes will wait for some sort of sign, I guess, so it decreases the likelihood of them being rejected and treated like trash. I mean, that's pretty common, I would say. But what was this last part she said here? Doesn't matter that women are going to go with the first guy. No, no, they won't. Women are very much discerning of the type of men that they try and hook up with. Like, if you're the first guy there, and let's just say you've got a woman who's like 6 foot and makes 100K a year, okay? A bit of a rarity, quite the rarity, in fact. And a guy approaches her and he's 5'2" and he makes 40K a year. Even though he's the first one, the woman is not going to care. She won't even look twice at this particular man. So no, women don't take the first man that is there. They take the best one. And by best, I mean typically most attractive and or most rich, depending on how old she is. Like, I don't know, man. These women on TikTok are completely lost in the sauce.
If they're not looking for a relationship, it doesn't matter how hard you try to tie them down, you're not going to win. But when they decide that they're ready for a relationship, pretty much that first girl is the one that they settle down with. So my suggestion is
apparently.
Put your damn arm down and stop trying to hail a cab that has its light off. And honestly, I should probably take my own advice.
Wait, so are dudes the cabs? I'm so confused. I'm so confused with these TikTok videos, man. These women give me an absolute headache.
This theory holds some truth. When a man feels accomplished and reaches his best version, usually between the ages of 28 and 40, he feels ready to settle down, find a wife, and start a family. But that doesn't mean he's desperate. Many men prefer to take their time, date several women, and enjoy their prime years like sampling different flavors at an ice cream shop. Once this man gets tired, he'll look for a woman he genuinely likes, who shows acts of service for him, and who understands how to bring what he values to a relationship. If women focused more on qualifying themselves for their man, bringing feminine energy into the relationship, nurturing, caring, respecting him, being faithful, maintaining his prestige, and doing acts of service, the man would take the step to make her his wife. But many just want a walking wallet, believing they're entitled to a relationship without contributing anything.
I mean, even the dudes who are complete players, by the way, a lot of the times the reason why they don't actually quote unquote settle down and have a relationship with modern women is because they don't think the women are worth it. You know, like, yes, a guy might be able to go out there and hook up with a bunch of women. And most guys who do this probably eventually are looking for a girlfriend or something like this. But the problem is Western women don't really offer they're not really the most best, shall I say, the most best, good wording, Taylor, girlfriends, right? You try and turn a lot of these Western women into girlfriends, I mean, it's going to be a complete train wreck for you. So even the guys who are players, they recognize that a lot of these women don't really have much to offer them at all. Okay. And again, I'm not saying, for example, that women have to be in the kitchen But let's be real about it. A lot of them, they can't cook, they can't clean, or if they can, they never want to do it for a man because apparently it's oppressive. Doing something nice for your significant other is oppressive. You know, they're not pleasant to be around. Whenever you talk with them, it's always going to feel like it's an argument because she has an issue with everything you say. A lot of them are incredibly assertive, confident to a fault, incredibly masculine. They offer a lot of things that men are not really interested in. I think a lot of guys would actually take a relationship straight up. It doesn't take them until they're 40 years of age or something like this. Men don't have to get bored. The problem is just a lot of these women aren't worth dating to begin with. Like it is very hard for women to keep around men these days because a lot of them don't have things that men are actually interested in.
The golden rule for getting a man to put a ring on your finger is understanding that to be treated like a princess, you must first qualify yourself to the king. Drizzle, drizzle. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are the questions for you. What do you think a woman needs to bring to the table for a man to make her his wife? Do you believe the privilege of beauty exists? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell.
I do think it's very funny that you have this woman here who has, I'm assuming, hundreds of thousands of followers, given that her first video had 2.2 million likes. She's saying, hey, listen, don't go on coffee dates. You know, men have to take you seriously. They have to take you out on dinner, out to dinners and things like this. But as soon as she sees the Chad, she immediately folds, approaches him, and then gives up immediately because she got rejected once. I think that is so incredibly funny, guys. I think this is the story of a lot of modern women, to be honest with you. They expect all of the dinner treatment and the princess treatment from average men to even have a chance with them, but they will lower their standards for Chads. They will lower their standards for men who they find attractive. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.